And welcome everyone. This is the Hobo Prepper. All right, thank you for joining me. I made a promise to you guys that when I got to Crestview, which I am there this morning, that I would do a live stream because I don't know when the next live stream I'm gonna do is, and so I wanted to be able to reach out to you guys and say hi, kind of give you an update on my trip. And I have really, like, in a matter of like 48 hours, I have managed to I've managed to make it over 100 miles, which is pretty good. So, and I've only walked maybe 20 of those 100 miles. So my feet are liking me for this. So it is what it is. I normally have a lot of topics to talk about. Now I have been some things that have happened, just kind of, to give you guys a little bit of an update on kind of how I've been surviving and stuff like that. So once I left the Wilton Hilton, which, man, that place was kind of hard to leave because it was good. I mean, I had a memory foam bed, which really helped with my knees and my feet and my back and everything like that. It was actually really, really good for for me overall. And then on top of that, I ate so much. I didn't realize how much I ate until I had to use the bathroom. It has been, I've kind of been tied to a bathroom. Hey, what's up, Canada? Just popped up in my feed while I'm updating my day hike pack. Oh, nice. Yeah, updating a day hike. Yeah, that's good stuff. So, anyways, so after I ended up having to take a 0 day because the guy that I was that I walked with for a while, which I don't know. I gotta tell you, I'm trying to be as polite as possible, but the guy was just. I tried to warn him that he's gonna end up getting himself into a lot of trouble because he's just kind of a little weird, and people aren't gonna be very accepting of his weirdness. And plus, I find it a little odd. But you know what? I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't want people. He told me how he upset another YouTuber, and that person has sent people after him and stuff like that. And I could see why, just because of my interactions with him, and that's why I kept trying to warn him. But I don't want to be part of that kind of ruins the guy's life, because he's confused. He's out on trail. He's trying to get his head straight, and I think that I think that he's in a similar place that I'm at, just dealing with different issues. So after he left, because I didn't get a wink's sleep, I maybe got like 2 or 3 hours sleep, I decided to take a 0 day, and that turned out to be not a bad idea, because the guy that came in later that night, I forget what his name is. I'm really bad with names, if you guys haven't figured out. Unless you tell me like your trail name, I probably won't remember it, because just names don't stick with me. And so he's like, yeah, I'm just moving my car up. My buddy and I, we're already at Eglin, and he's like, I'm just moving my car up, and that way, just keep it going. And I think that's kind of interesting. So if you're doing a trail and you want to, you still want to keep your car close, kind of, he hitchhiked his way back to his car. Somebody dropped him off. Later. You can watch it up until I move it over to Patreon. So if you are a Patreon subscriber, it's $10 a month, and you can watch the live stream replays anytime you want. That's the benefit of the Patreon subscription. So you can do that. Okay, well, Travel Tech, I hope that answers your question. Weird people are everywhere. Keep my head on a swivel. So, I was able to get a ride, and he even, the guy was from the guy that gave me a ride was from New York, so that's one of the states where it's legal. And I'm telling you, you can tell the difference between the stuff that you get from states that aren't legal versus the stuff that you get from the states that are legal, because all it took was one toke, and I was kind of slobbered all over myself. It was quite embarrassing, actually. But what do you do? I haven't gotten baked very much since I've been out on trail, and so my tolerance is extremely low. So one toke, and yeah, I'm already 3 sheets to the wind, especially if it was some good stuff. But you know, he gave me a ride, dropped me off in Definiak Springs. Now, you know, I was gonna hitchhike my way. Since he was giving me that far, I figured in order to get from because of the way that I was traveling with him giving me a ride like 65, 70 miles down the road. The legal stuff is the best. Yes, it is, Tom. So, but I figured, you know what, because I was still 30 miles away, 40 miles away from Crestview, which is where I'm at right now. And, you know, being in Crestview, this is kind of where the trail intersects, but this is actually where I am breaking off to get into the Alabama walking trails. So, sorry, I got somebody who keeps blowing up my phone with text. And so I'm trying to pay attention to you and that as well. But, you know, it just, so I figured I was going to end up hitchhiking. So trying to hitchhike from a gas station is probably not a good idea, especially if you're right there on a freeway, because one of the things that I'm learning is that, yeah, people are stopping there for gas, not to keep moving on, but because that's kind of like their final destination. They're refilling right there as they get into town. So that's why I ended up walking about 10, 12 miles down the road, and actually about 15 miles down the road, because I wanted to get on the highway, and I wanted to get to a place where, you know, people come in and out. So I went to a Dollar General, and I was able to, you know, one of the guys gave me a piece of cardboard, so I wrote this on it. Very simple. And this is kind of, you know, because I know, here's the thing, I really want to make sure that I have enough time to do the AT and to be able to do it at my pace. So if I can speed it up a little bit, I mean, I still kind of have mixed feelings about the Florida Trail, and, you know, also the hosts there at the Wilton Hilton were telling me that last year there was a couple that was in Eglin on the trail, and a homeless guy came in there and stabbed the husband 16 times, and he had to be life flighted out. Luckily he was on the Air Force base, and the wife was able to call 911, which actually scared the guy away. But he was actually going after the wife. So, I mean, she was the one that was in danger. He just happened to be the one that was in the way. And so, you know, he did his husbandly duty and sacrificed himself. But apparently those guys are coming down to finish the last of the Eastern Continental Trail, because they were at the very end. Like, they had like 2 or 3 days left of their hike, and then they would have been absolutely done with their with doing the completion of the Eastern Continental Trail. Now, for me, I want to make sure that I get the Appalachian Trail done, because, one, I've heard a lot of things about it. 2, it's a popular trail. There's just, I don't know, I've been being drawn to it ever since I've thought about hiking, way back before October when I left, because I originally decided that I wanted to do the what is it called? I wanted to do the Appalachian Trail, and I was going to take a bus up there. But then I decided, no, try a bike, and now I'm kind of right back to square one. But, you know, the thing is this is all a learning experience. So if you guys have questions, let me know. I'm just going to talk about my trail, what I've done over the last few days, and just kind of the people that I've met, because I'm meeting some cool people. I got to say that, yeah, you might meet some weird people, but there are more people that aren't weird than that are weird. I mean, being, you know, it is what it is. So, you know, those are some things to consider. So if you're gonna decide, do I want to go out on trail? Do I want to go out on bike? Do I want to do a road walk? There are different ways to approach it. Now, I've had people tell me that, you know, it's illegal to hitchhike or to hold out your thumb, which I kind of find strange, because people hitchhike all the time. I think a lot of it is just, you know, coming across a cop, and if the cop feels like being a dick, then he's got something to get you for, just like jaywalking. You know, most cops aren't going to go after you for jaywalking, but in the sense that they're either running low on their quota or running, just having a boring day, or they're on a tirade or whatever, then they can pull you over and they can deal with you that way. So a lot of it is you got to, from 10 years, 99% of me are awesome people. Yes, I would say 99% of the people I've met are awesome. Even the guy that gave me a ride here, so gave me a ride this last 20 miles to Crestview, and like I'm right on the top of the trail. So it's pretty awesome for me. That I've been able to make it this far, and I don't feel as rushed as I was. But I think that because I have 193 miles that I have to do through the Alabama road walk, and if any of you guys have maps or kind of like how I can get directions on the Alabama road walk, now I've been told that it's the Yellow Blaze, and I've looked it up online, but it's kind of there's nothing interactive, there's nothing like that now on the ArcGIS. So if you guys really want a good system to use, at least what I found that is free and will allow you to kind of have the GPS and follow the trail, the one thing that I would recommend is ArcGIS. Now the Android version is different than the iPhone version. For the iPhone version, it's the field maps, and I forget what the Android version is. The Prophet, he ended up explaining to me, showing me that he was using that as well. So a lot of the hobos, a lot of the travelers, because they don't want to spend the money through Far Out or the other apps, they end up using something like ArcGIS or an interactive map. But there is no real interactive map for the Alabama trails. So I'm a little bit bummed on that. And I'm trying to figure out how to do it, because I want to stick to the trail as much as possible, just so that I can kind of get an idea of it. But I think that part of this is being a nomad and bugging out and stuff like that. You're gonna move all over the place. Sometimes you need to move fast through an area, which is why I'm hitchhiking. Sometimes you need to get to an area before the weather gets bad, which is part of the reason why I'm hitchhiking. But then other ways, other times you just want to be out in nature, be out in the forest. So one of my good friends, Bridget, if you guys have heard me talk about her, I did an interview with her about food. And I need to revisit that interview, and she and I we're probably going to do a follow-up interview here in maybe a few months. She's in the process of moving, but once she gets set up, I expect that I should be able to do some sort of interview with her, and stuff like that. And one of the things that she was asking me, she's like, why do you have to keep moving all the time, or do you have to, or can you like stay places for long periods of time? And I think that this is a good question for the average person if you're curious, like, do I have to always be a nomad and always be moving? Because sometimes your body just doesn't want to move. Sometimes you just psychologically, you're just like, I'm drained, I don't want to go anywhere, I just want to sit back and rest for like a couple of weeks, or maybe a month, or maybe a week, stuff like that, and then get back out on trail and kind of reinvigorate myself. And one of the things that I explained to her is that I'm kind of behind the 8 ball as far as my travels, because of hunkering down in Gainesville until the first week of March. Now, if I would have gone north, I probably would have been froze out. I probably would have been a lot more miserable, because it's cold here right now. For the almost middle of April in Florida, it was 48 this morning when I woke up, and it's the high is 65. And we've got another cold front coming through, and this is kind of late in the year to be able to have a cold front like this come through Florida, at least based upon my experience in Florida, and even living in the South. Even Paul and I were talking, it's like, man, it's kind of weird that it's cooler at this late in the year. By now we should be looking at like 80s and low 90s, because it's going to start, as soon as May comes, you don't want to be down south in May. Being down south in May is probably it's when it starts getting miserable, because not only do you have the humidity which is I love the heat. I just don't like the humidity. But the thing is when you're outside as much as I am, you quickly get acclimated to the weather compared to like if you're inside, because like if I were to go up north in the middle of the winter, if I were to go somewhere in the middle of the winter, that's cold, it would be a lot harder for me to acclimate. I would be stuck inside, versus kind of like how the weather changes, your body kind of changes with the weather in some instances, but when it jumps to the extremes like what it's doing right now, it makes it a little bit more difficult. So I mean, the high is 65. I mean, I need a high of at least 72 to make it somewhat comfortable. And then the humidity is also gone because of how cold it is. It's almost like we're dealing with January weather in the middle of April again. So one of the things is I want to make sure that I get up through Alabama and into Georgia no later than the first week of May, so that I can at least make it up through the AT in a reasonable time, and I'm not rushing myself. Now, I have asked some people about how the AT is, and one of the things that they tell me is that, starting in May, especially being a Southerner, might be best for me anyways, because even in April, I guess the Smokies still have some snowfall there, and so that's something that I might want to, consider. And I've been told that the rough part of the AT is Virginia, just because of how long it takes people to get through. I'm hoping that I don't run into the Virginia blues, but we'll see. But I really, really want to make sure that I register myself as a thru hiker there, and get it completed, because I want that under my belt to say, yeah, I did the whole AT from start to finish. And I did complete it, because with me having to jump around, I feel kind of guilty jumping around on the AT, or excuse me, on the Florida Trail, because I really wanted to do the full Florida Trail, but I also started at the northern half of it as well, so I haven't even gotten the chance to do the full Florida Trail. But again, after Bradford Bay is kind of the area that causes most people to quit the Florida Trail. That's why a lot of people end up skipping it. For me, that was a real eye opener, and of do I really want to do the Florida Trail? Because I've talked to people that have been doing it at the beginning, and they say the first 30 miles when you're going through the Everglades is nothing but swamp, and they've got limestone there, which is a little bit more dangerous than what I was dealing in Bradford Bay. As far as, instead of sinking down to the root system, you're sinking down to a limestone bed. So I'm really reconsidering that, but I do want to see if I can get the Triple Crown before the whole world goes to shit. And one of the things, so I was talking with the guy that gave me a ride, the trail hiker that was moving his car, and we were talking about how generous and how kind people are to you on trail. And I was even asking the question, and I'm going to pose this question to you guys as well. Let me know in the comments what you think. It's amazing how, if I were in a city and I said I need help, it's hard as hell to get help in any direction. People are spitting on you, looking at you as you are the scourge of the earth. But I'm out on trail. Nothing's really changed other than the fact that I'm on a trail. And so with me being on a trail, yet I see all this kindness, all this generosity. People will help you, give you rides, give you money, give you this, give you that, whatever it is that you need, people are there to help you. And I find it strange. Can you guys tell me why people are hostile towards the homeless, but yet if you're homeless and on trail, people are generous to you? I would really love to know what your guys' thoughts are on that. The other thing that we were talking about is what happens when the whole world falls apart. We've got supply chain issues. We have got the new digital currency that's coming into play, and it's amazing how little people know about this digital currency. And I know that you guys here, living on the trail is different. I'll read that here in a second. But it's just, will people still be as generous, or will they become, because money gets tight, everything gets tight, will people start being will people start being tight, and you'll see a lot less generosity when you're out on trail? So that is a question that I posed to him, and he's like, well, one of two things is going to happen. Either people are going to become more generous because they have less, and it becomes more of a, everybody is working to help each other, and out on trail versus what you would see in the city. So if you're going to end up becoming homeless at some point in time, and you're not sure what to do, maybe getting out on trail might be the wise thing for you to do, while you still get to keep some of your semblance of your psychological, keep yourself psychologically intact, because being homeless is almost worse than being a door-to-door salesman, as far as the psychological abuse that you get being outside, being in a city like that. And it just, I'm beginning to wonder, and I don't want to destroy the kindness that is out there on the trail, but if you're a prepper, if you are somebody that wants to do for yourself, if you are somebody that wants to be self-sufficient, which is what makes the because you're doing something moving. Okay, that makes sense. Explaining life on the trail is like explaining sex to a virgin. Had to do, but once you do it, you understand it. You know what? You're right, Tom. You're definitely right on that one. Once you get to, you can't explain it to other people, but it also has its obstacles. It's not as easy on being on trail as you would think it is. I mean, it's easier to find a place to sleep. It's easier to use the bathroom. But as far as resources, as far as the toll it takes on your body, because just like being homeless, you got to constantly be on the move. Being on trail, you got to constantly be on the move. You can take a 0 day here and there, but you kind of, there's that self-guilt that picks up in all of this. So that's one thing that I've noticed, is that because there's times where it's like, yeah, I would love to sit here and camp for just a week and just stay here, but I would feel so guilty about doing it because I feel like I would be abusing the use of the trail, that again, I'd be taking advantage of it. What are your guys' opinion on it, those of you that have been hiking a lot longer than I have and that have been out on trail? Is this something, like, what is your opinion on how do people okay, I'm sorry, there's something, let me see if, no, it doesn't. There's part of my screen is getting covered up, so that's why I can't see some of the times. Hi, Paranoid Times, how are you? Glad to see that you made it. What does stay frosty mean? Is it just another way of saying, hey, what's up, buddy? Because I'm also debating on whether or not, because now that I'm in Crestview, I won't hear back from the owners of that Army Navy surplus store. So I contacted the Army Navy surplus store yesterday, and I'm like, I tried to find somebody. I didn't realize it was Saturday until I looked at my phone. I started realizing, you're not late, Paranoid. You're right on time. So I think in Kinder Spirit, also a hiker is being productive and less likely to be seen as lazy or drunk, mental. That is the 1%. Okay, okay, I could see that. Okay, I could definitely see that. Oh, it means stay alert. Okay, good to know. But just I contacted him. I said, look, my channel is the Hobo Prepper. My name is Friar Tuck. But I go by Jason, but my name is Friar Tuck. And oh, by the way, before I forget, those of you that keep asking for access to my Facebook, to be friends with me on Facebook, there is, I have two Facebook links. One is to the Hobo Prepper on Facebook, which I really don't manage it very well. I leave it up to Rumble to do that, but Rumble isn't doing a good job. but I also put my personal Facebook up there. Now, if you guys do try and become a friend, send me a message and let me know that you're from the channel, because I went through and deleted a lot of the spam accounts that I had allowed myself to make friends with. You know, because I was spamming them with my videos. I figured, what the hell, why not? You know, one of the things is if you guys want to, just let me know that you're from the channel. I don't mind you knowing my name if you're from the channel. I just, to the average person, but you know, that's also another thing as far as being out here on trail. Be honest with people, show integrity, explain yourself to most people, be understanding to your needs, and try to be helpful during. You know what? That's exactly what I've been doing. And yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. Well, you guys know how important my integrity is because I've talked about it. But you know, one of the things though is just, yeah, I'm trying to figure all this out. Okay, on the subject of surplus, if we can get a good idea of where you will be, I can call ahead, maybe set up something, and then get check. Okay, so I think that's a good question, because sometimes I move really fast because of like what happened over the last couple of days. It's like I never really know where I'm going to be. I got lucky with Bristol, knowing that I was going to be going through there, but nobody sent me. Now, if you guys ever send me something, like if you want to send me something like as a care package, please send me an email, because if you don't send me an email, I'm just going to presume that nobody sent anything, and that way I at least know that it's coming. Now, you don't have to send it through UPS or anything else like that. What I do recommend though is that you put a tracking number on it, which is like certified mail. It costs like an extra $2, but that way you can track the package and make sure that it gets to where it's got to go, because the mail system is losing a lot of things lately, and the last thing we'd like to have happen is to be expecting a package and then not to show up. If it's running a couple of days late, maybe I could take a, you know, go in the woods or hang around the city for a couple of days and stay there, so that I can make sure that I get the package if you leave it. So that's why I ask you guys to do to send me a tracking number through email, and just let me know what it is that you're sending so I know what to expect. Because you know, sometimes you might say, hey, I want to send you this, and I might have to send you a reply like, no, please don't. It's more than what I can carry, or it's something that I won't use, and I wouldn't want you to waste your money to send things to me as well. So being coordinated, but as I think, I know that I've got to do the Alabama road walk. Once I do the Alabama road walk, I know that it's going to take me through the major city, not Mobile, but there's I can't remember the other major city that's up there that you go through. I think that there might be a surplus store there that I could go through, and that would probably be the next best place. I will probably put it in the community page, or actually, Paranoid, I have your email, so I'll email you the city that I'm talking about after I look at the map. But there is a city in Alabama before I get on the Pinhoti that will that should be a good place, and then that way, yeah, you can call ahead and maybe help me out there. So there are top of surplus stores along the way, so sure I can. Okay, yeah. Now the Alabama road walk, I am probably going to be doing a lot of hitchhiking because it is a road walk. Now, once I get to the Pinhoti, I think that's going to be where I kind of slow my pace a little bit, because I will be able to Pax Gear. Let's get a shopping list together and say, hey, I need this or that. Okay, that's actually a good idea. I will definitely, because right now, so the kid Prophet that I met, he wants to send me, because every time he buys new gear, he sends his old gear up to his buddy, who then, you know, they hold on to it until he finds someone to give it away to. I have to find a place for pretty soon for him to be able to mail me, because he's offered me an internal frame backpack that will be able to fit my gear, because of when he saw what happened to my hand. It's still, I think I did break my finger, but I can't tell completely. So that's kind of like what it looks like there, and I think I might have broken it right there, because that's where the bar landed. But he offered to send me an internal frame backpack, but I wanted to make sure that I gave the surplus store a chance, because quite frankly, after the stuff that Paranoid showed me that you can get from a surplus store, and just some of the loadout gear that he's shown me, it's honestly, it's very, very enticing, and it seems like, I mean, I don't know if it works until I try it, but it seems like something that would be efficient for me, and something that it's really okay, cool. A tons out. Okay, so I'm a broke YouTuber. You don't have to be, but I can help with info. Hey, you know what, Tom? Info is just as valuable as anything else. I don't expect you guys to send me money or anything else like that. If you guys do, hey, I totally appreciate it. Like, you know, if you want to buy me lunch here at Burger King, go for it. There's the tip jar is down in the description. But, you know, there's very rare where I've gotten to a point, especially with the amount of help that I've gotten along the trail, I don't feel the need to lean on you guys for as much help as I was in the beginning, because of the resources and the things that I have been able to acquire out here on trail. Mostly what I need from you guys is knowledge, information, you know, not only like what topics you guys think that I should cover, but I also could use you know, because some of the I'm used to being a rubber tramp. I'm used to, you know, going from city to city and working within the cities instead of, you know, traveling the way that I'm traveling. It's much different for me, and there is a learning curve for me. So little tips that you guys give me along the way that I do pay attention to them, especially in the comments, those help out a lot, helping me find the right map so that I can keep on trail and find the resources that I need. That's just as important as a dollar bill to me. You know, it's like I said not too long ago, I think in the last live stream, I'm not here to get rich. I don't want to get rich. I have no desire to be rich. I just want to be able to have some comforts, like, you know, if I want a pack of cigarettes, or if I want to, you know, stop in and have a hamburger while I do a live stream, or if it's like really, really wet and cold and stuff like that, maybe being able to afford to either replace the gear or you know, get some better gear that will help me, you know, deal with what it is that I'm dealing with, or, you know, get me a hotel room, which quite frankly, I think that hotel rooms, after the last hotel room I was in, it's not that I hated it, it's just I felt like it was a waste of money. I think that nowadays, because of how expensive hotel rooms have gotten, even for the roach motels, it's not worth the money anymore. It really isn't. $88 was an okay price, but $100 for a roach motel, and I mean, you know, the floors are dirty, you're gonna find things in the drawers, you know, you're hoping that they clean the sheets, you know, things like that. It's you know, $50, $60 tops. That's all I find as far as me goes. That's all I think that it's worth. If I had $100, I'd rather spend it on a 0-degree bag and get an extra 20 degrees of comfort than to go out there and to put money for a one-night stay in a hotel. And you know, this is some of the things that I've learned, because if you guys remember when I first started out on bike, I came out with I think I had like $500 in my pocket when I started, and you know, I went through it so quick, and I've had to learn to really like look at the money that I spend and ask myself, is it really worth spending that money on that? Because things have gone up and gotten so expensive lately, it's not even worth the money that you're spending on it unless it's like absolutely needed. So being here, once we get his right here, he will hardly need anything other than food and room here and there, maybe a barbecue dinner. You know what though? I know once I get on the AT that there's enough of you along the AT. I wouldn't be surprised. Like the guy that let me, because I went up to a guy and last night, I'm like, because I was kind of walking through, like it was in between towns, but it was a business / house. And so I asked him, where can I sleep? He said, go sleep over there in the woods. He said if I would have stayed there and kind of like stayed a little bit later. He was going to invite me. They were having barbecue chicken for Easter today, and I'm like, man, well, I'm like, no, I gotta do my miles. I gotta keep going, because if I don't get up there in time, it's gonna be miserable by the time I get to Maine, and I want to get to Maine before it starts getting super cold and super miserable, or I at least want to have the gear to be able to deal with it up there. You know, I think the biggest problem that I'm having right now is just, you know, this stuff right here is more for like the Florida trail, because it's really thin, and like I was thinking about putting on a cotton shirt today just so that I could warm up, because this is almost like there's no insulation in this. This is designed to wick the sweat off, but when it's cold enough to where you can't even sweat, no matter, I mean, I'm walking 3.5 miles an hour, and you know, I'm not even breaking a sweat, and not even on the back of my pack, because it's that cold, you know. So I mean, I gotta really figure out how to make the gear be versatile enough to where I can do it in cooler temperatures, and I can do it in the warmer temperatures. That's one thing that I really need to figure out. So our trailers are an evil luxury. You never get what you pay for. Better investing in, Tom, that's exactly, you know, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Is you got to be, more responsible with the way that you spend money, because I don't know, money isn't going to be as loose as it has been for the last 20 to 50 years, where, you know, it's easier to get money then than it is now, because everybody's tightening up. I mean, pretty soon you won't own your house. You'll be renting your house, because the bank had to get rid of the house to be able to keep itself solvent. So they sold it, and then, you know, the interest rates that are going up, you know, you won't be able to refinance it. And if, you know, you lose your job or something happens, unless you have, you know, my old man kept telling me, keep 12 months worth of bills in savings. That way, if something happens, you've got a year to find a job, and you're not in trouble. And, you know, it's easier said than done, especially as you start seeing prices go up and stuff like that. Okay, well, Tom, you're gonna have to keep me posted on the weather up there, and let me know when I need to start getting my snow gear out. I'll have to post videos for you. What's the name of your YouTube channel, Tom? So I'd love to know it, because you know, just like Hobo Thomas, I subscribe to his channel, not because he subscribed to mine, but because you guys are active on my channel, and, you know, I like to hear what you guys have to say as well. So if you guys have a channel, I mean, I'll always check it out, and if I like it, I'll definitely subscribe to it, just because I think it's, you know, like the kid that gave me the ride to Finiac Springs, you know, we were talking about it. I'm like, I'm not trying to get rich. I want, you know, I don't need any more than 10,000 subscribers. And the only reason why I want 10,000 versus like 1,000 or 5,000 is because of the windows that are that are opened up on YouTube, to where I can start getting, once I hit 5,000 subscribers, I can start getting free gear from manufacturers and doing the reviews on it. And that will change a lot of things for me, because then I can start showing you guys what works for me, what doesn't work for me. But I have to get to that 5,000 subscribers, and then 10,000 I can actually get sponsorship, you know, so that like certain places. Now, I'm not going to do the gold and silver thing, so I'm not going to do anything like that, but I will do something like you know, like gear sponsorships, because honestly, I think that your gear is what makes it so that you want to stay out on trail. Like my tent that I had that before it got stolen, if it wasn't for that getting stolen, this rain wouldn't be bothering me as much, and I would have just stayed out on trail and just like hunkered down and stayed for an extra day just to deal with the rain, because I know that all my stuff would be dry and that it would be good. This Walmart tent, I mean, it's keeping me dry, and I'm getting lucky because I've learned how to set up a tent. One of the big things, especially if you have a tent that really isn't good at shedding water, one of the things that you really want to look at is getting underneath trees. You know, getting as close to a tree trunk as possible. That will help you. Yes, Canada, I saw that. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm gonna have me a burger after we're done with this live stream here, and thank you very much. But you know, it just that would make, you know, your shelter and your sleeping gear makes probably makes the most. Do you think I can't read it? So do you think your health will hold to finish the AT? You know, if you are a Patreon subscriber, I did a video talking about suggestive healing. I'll talk about it a little bit here. Okay, so you know, the prayer that I put up there that I showed in the community tab. So I say that so that and then I try and clear my mind, because I want to hear that inner voice. To a Christian, you could call that God. To me, that's the inner voice. That's creation itself speaking to me through my spirit. Okay. I need to learn how to post videos. I spent too much time in the woods. You know what? Keep your videos under 15 minutes and YouTube will upload it. I use, I can't remember the name of it. You see it, if you watch the end of my videos, there's always a CapCut is what I use. CapCut is probably the best video editing software that you will use. It is as good as using Adobe, but it's free. Now, if you do want to use some of the transitions and stuff like that, you will have to pay for them. But as far as using the free stuff, I mean, it's really good. The transitions are good. You can do overlays. You can do anything on using CapCut that you could do using the Adobe Creative Suite, which I've used for video editing. And I will tell you that it is equal to in a lot of ways, especially for free. Those are the two things that I use that probably make the biggest difference. And then just kind of figuring out, one of the things that I keep getting told from everybody is that, you know, you guys are living vicariously through me, and so you want to see what I'm going through because you want to be on the journey. And those are the things that have really helped the channel grow as much as it has. It's just by bringing you guys along for the journey. So for you guys that do have YouTube channels, that's what I would strongly recommend. That you kind of consider that when you're creating your channel. And plus, Paranoid, he used to have is like a camping combat tent is like camping in the, I can't read the next word, but you know, Paranoid, he used to have a YouTube channel. He gives me advice as well, and so, you know, but the thing is most people don't last longer than, I guess, 10 years in the YouTube world. I don't know how long I'm gonna last, but, you know, most people get burnt out just because of the amount of posting, the amount of content, the amount of work that you got to put into it. And then, you know, eventually you will run out of things to say, maybe. But getting back to what I was saying is, you know, I want the 10,000 subscribers, but, you know, so that it opens up certain doors for me through the YouTube partnership program. Now, I'm planning on doing other things to make money other than just YouTube. That just is like the primary platform that I'm using right now. But the other thing is I want to create this as more of a family. As you notice, we're all sitting back just having a regular conversation. You guys are sharing information with me. I'm sharing information with you. You guys ask questions. I ask questions. This becomes like a bunch of buddies sitting around a campfire having a powwow. And that's, you know, the live streams and the videos. That's what I'm seeking to do with you guys, is to make this more of a community, more of a family. That way we're not really reliant on the numbers, and we're more reliant on is this being effective in helping you, either helping you prepare or giving you the entertainment and the joy that you are looking for in doing the things that you're doing. You know, because, you know, some people, I met a subscriber today. He's like, yeah, I saw you in one of your videos. I think he saw one of my first videos when I was on the Florida Trail, and he's like, yeah, I really enjoy your videos. And it's like, you know what, you know, that made me feel good, because, you know, I want you guys to enjoy it, to be entertained, and to be able to kind of help you guys along and maybe give you some ideas, because I think differently than a lot of people. And so my ability to think differently allows me to, you know, I just, sorry, I'm reading. So you still do have a channel. Okay. Posted in a bit. stuff coming help as well as around 90. Okay, so you got 90,000 subs. That's good. You know, that's really good. You don't need a lot of subs. I mean, now that you have that 90,000, you probably have a lot of them that you consider close, you know, close knit, close family to you, that you work with. But you know, that's really the environment that I'm trying to create. And even the guy that was giving me a ride, he commended me on it. He's like, you know, that's really good. You know, that's the way YouTube should be. You know, is, you know, it's meant to be more of like a family atmosphere where we all get together and we're sitting around the campfire, drinking our beer, smoking our weed, and having a good old time, having a good conversation. So you know, just to kind of give you an idea, this is again, I'm in Crestview. I've got another 20 miles until I get to the next turn, which will it's going to take me through the forest, so I will get into the forest in about a day or two. Hey, 14s, you know what? My first channel, I barely got past 78. This is the best channel I've had. But my first channel, I focused strictly on Billy Meyer. So, I mean, it takes time. You know, one of the things that I always do, I always watch my videos and I always engage with my videos, and I always share it on my Facebook and Truth Social as well. So you should be able, if you guys are on Truth Social, you should be able to either find me under Hobo Prepper or Jason Garbush. So you will be able to do that. So as you notice, I'm coming out with my name more often. I don't feel the need to hide it the way I did when I first started, because I was more worried about, you know, the type of people that would try and either do me harm or do my son harm. But I don't really think that I think that over time, because of the relationships that I've created with you guys and the people that I've met along the trail and that I've met, there are some people, I won't tell them what my name is because I get that vibe from them, like no. But anyways, and to answer the health question also, so, you know, doing that prayer and then listening to that inner voice to kind of tell me what it is that I need to do, it told me that I need to get my mental stuff straightened out, because that your head actually causes your thoughts, your mental stability, the things that you think about. So if you come from a place of fear or a place of negativity, that plays out into your overall health. So part of me getting rid of that negativity, such as the loss of my business, such as being upset with my old man, such as you know, just the being a workaholic and not really taking time for myself, you know, those things have hurt me and caused a lot of the health issues that I'm having, because, you know, I don't know how to explain it. I just know that that's what's going on. So, wow, you went from 300 to 20K overnight. Yeah, you get those videos that are lucky. I gained like 300 subscribers off of one of my gear videos, and that was like the best I've had so far. So that's what put me up to about 650. Otherwise, yeah, I'd probably still be around like 500 now. But you know, it's just I know it's slowly and steadily growing. Whenever I lose a subscriber, I feel like I lose like a family member and stuff like that. But as far as keeping my mental stability together, that's probably the one thing that will keep my health out. As you notice, my abscess has gone away again because I kept following the instructions of that inner voice, telling myself, release the toxins. My toe isn't starting to flare up again because I'm releasing the toxins. I'm releasing the negative energy that I'm holding within me that is actually causing the health issues that I have. I'm a tech-tard. I have the field experience, but I'm trying to learn the video stuff. Yeah, you know, bushcraft, I used to be in the IT field, and I made sure to forget everything. And if I can forget everything and still figure my way out around this, it's not about your videography. It's about the quality of content. It's about the information that you offer. People are willing to deal with poor video as long as you have good sound. But people are not, but if you don't have the quality of content, as far as like the subjects that you cover, if they're not good subjects, it's stuff that people want to know, then you're going to run into, you're going to struggle. And so that's been my struggle, is like, yes, I have the, I have the desire to make the videos, but some of the videos I do, they absolutely miss. Some of the videos I do, they hit that chord, and that's why I always ask you guys, what are some topics that you guys want to hear about? That way, I can cover them, because I'm sure other people are asking those same questions. The reason why people tell me that I ask great questions whenever I do my interviews is because I ask the same questions that everybody else wants to know. If I was watching the video, this is what I would want to know about this subject, because I'm curious about the subject. So these are some things that you could definitely consider, when you're making your videos. It's more about quality of content than it is about the quality of the video. So it seemed to make it. What are you using? What are you using? A camera? There is, it's Robert something Jr. If you search for what's the live stream software, I will post one of his videos. I can't remember his what it is. What's the software that you use to do live streams if you're on a desktop? I know one of you guys knows it. I just can't remember it off the top of my head. But if you do a search for that, this guy, he teaches you all kinds of cool things that you can do to make sure that everything works if you're doing it on a desktop. Now, on a phone, I'm using an iPhone, so I have to use an adapter to my iPhone in order for it to actually work. That's just one thing there. So so like I have a Rode mic that I use, but I have to use a TRS to TRRS adapter, and then I have an extension that is a TRRS to TRRS extension that also connects to an MFI, which is made for iPhone adapter, and it plugs into my phone. So I have like 3 cords to go from my Rode mic all the way into my phone. But the thing is if I'm charging my phone, then I can't use the mic, which is what I'm doing right now, is not using the mic. So it's a wireless mic. But no, I'm not talking about your mic. I'm asking, what are you using to record? Are you using a desktop? Are you using like a Sony camera? Are you using your phone? What are you using? So because each medium has its own way of connecting the mic. So for example, you're going to have to get really good at editing and lining up the mic with the camera, because like my Sony A6000, you couldn't put a microphone in it, so I had to go into I had to export. No, this is when I was using Adobe. So I would export the audio from the camera, because it would pick up its own audio, and then I would have to line that up with the audio from my mic, and then I would merge them together, and then I would re-export it back in, and then make sure that everything is lined up accordingly. And that's kind of how you have to do it. So okay, so Samsung phone, so you should be able to use just I believe a TRRS connector. Now when you look at the ring, it should have 2 rings, not 1 ring, I believe, or it's either 2 or 3 rings that it needs to have in order to connect into your Samsung. Okay, and then you just need to make sure, like, now for my iPhone, the onboard video software camera does not work, so I have to use I use a different software, which is I don't remember what it is, but I use it from time to time. Whenever I use my mic, I have to use that software because it won't allow the mic to work. So you might need a third-party software. There are free software, and there is software that'll cost you maybe like $10 that will allow you, through the Play Store, that will allow you to to connect your mic into it, because that might be the problem. Is just that it doesn't the onboard video recorder that you have does not allow an external mic to be added to it. Okay, so those are some things that might help you out there. So OBS, yes, you're right, OBS. So if you do a search for OBS, his name is it's Robert something Jr. He's always got very colorful thumbnails. He's really good at his thumbnails. He's got like around 300 subscribers. He likes to do live streams, and he will teach you how to do OBS. He'll teach you how to do all that stuff, so that you can learn. And he's really, really good. He's who I learned from, and that's how my learning curve got good. So, anyways, guys, we're nearing that hour. I always keep it an hour or less. Do you guys have any more questions for me? Either prepper related, video related, YouTube related, travel related, or anything else like that? Do you guys have any questions that you have for me before I start to close this out? So you guys know about the tip jar. You guys know about subscribing. If you guys haven't hit that bell notification, make sure you hit that bell notification. Now I still haven't, I'm still working. When I get up to the AT is probably when I'm going to do it. But Prophet sent me some links, and I haven't gotten around to it yet, just because I don't stop for very long. And when I do stop, it's to charge my phone and, maybe to create a video and stuff like that. So there are some links to some of the gear that he has sent me, that if you guys would like it, like I think he sent me something. I told him I especially wanted the link to his to the solar charger, because that thing is powerful and it's amazing. And I think he should have sent me something to his what's it called? Because he was talking about his hammock that he uses, and he uses a quality hammock. The quality of the gear that you have is going to determine the efficiency. Oh, hey Thomas, I'm glad to see that you finally that you got here. I haven't seen any of your videos lately, but everybody here knows that you are a YouTuber, so hopefully they'll come over there and check you out too, Thomas. So but yeah, those, when I get a chance, by the time I hit the AT, that is a goal that I have to complete, so that I can get everything uploaded, because I think that the gear that he has, I saw a couple of things in it. The Osprey backpack, okay, yeah, I know that that's like the top of the line stuff, but that solar charger, $60 is not a bad deal for that. And the fact that he can do fast charging with it, and he's not tied to a wall outlet like I am. I had a solar charger, but it was like one of those $20 ones through Amazon, and it was the worst one you could ever think about. And I was looking at getting one of those like 6-panel ones, but he has, I think it was like a 3-panel one, which was really, really good. So you seen any shadow people out there? No, I have not seen any shadow people out here. I've heard the Art Bell episode on the shadow people, though. Fairly interesting, but no, I don't think that they exist. Now, unless it's something to do with inner dimensions and just like and kind of like a rift between the different dimensions, I don't think that shadow people exist. I think that what we see in our physical reality, some of it we may not be able to explain. So, but anyways, guys, this will be up for a couple of hours if you want to watch the live stream replay, if you came in a little bit late. Otherwise, if you want to be able to see the live stream and all the previous live stream replays, you can always come over to Patreon. It's $10 a month for the live stream replays, $5 a month for the regular, $5 a month for just the Patreon only videos. Now, I make a video for YouTube, and then I have a completely different conversation. Sometimes I cover the same subject over there on Patreon, but but I cover it in a different way, because I'm a little bit looser about how I'm Okay, I'm a little bit looser about the conversation that I can have. I can be a lot more open with you guys. I don't have to worry about the words that I use, because there's a list of words that YouTube gives you, especially once you get monetized. And right now I'm still in that 3-month window where my warning is supposed to be coming off here in the next couple of weeks, and I'm hoping that that kind of opens up the floodgates to my channel as far as being able to get the views I used to get before I got that warning, because I talked about something that they didn't want me to talk about, and I'm not going to mention it here. Has to do with the cough though. So you know, that is something that you know, if you come over to the Patreon, you know, the $5 a month, that's that. So one thing though, you can do custom, what do you call them? Custom donations or custom pledges. If you do a custom pledge, it will not allow you to, what's the word I'm looking for? To get into the tiers. Just choose a tier. Don't worry about doing a custom pledge. The $5 or the $10 a month, or if you want to become a VIP, you know, the $20 a month, which I'm going to drop that down to 15 probably today, and just keep it at 15, because I think that you know, just that's the way. Like, I would rather have 500 of you at $5 a month than 150 at $15 a month. You know what I mean? So I would rather have the volume of people than the volume of money in the transaction. But hey guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for being my subscribers. I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for being a part of my channel and being a part of my experience. And again, if you haven't hit that bell notification, don't forget to hit that bell notification. And I will see you guys in the next live stream, which I will probably have it. The next live stream that I can promise is going to be right before I hit the Pinhoti. When I hit that major city, I will definitely do one more live stream before that happens. And then on the AT, you guys are going to have to help me figure out some logistics to be able to jump off and jump into a place where I can do a live stream and get good signal. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next